So, guys, the Carl Frampton versus Leo Santa Cruz fight has passed, and we have a new WBA featherweight champion. Big congratulations to Carl Frampton. I've been left with egg on my face, you know, very truly and very thoroughly. So, yeah, I do hold my hands up. I apologise. All the Carl Frampton fans slating me, you know, apologies for that. But no, Carl Frampton comes out victorious, and rightly so. I did get a bit of stick from some of my mates, messaging me and saying you comfortably picked Santa Cruz, and so uh, you know we always get a few things wrong, and in my case, I get more than a few things wrong. So yeah, Carl Frampton did really well in the fight. Actually, really well. Some of the things he did, very advanced, very skilled. He knew when to get on the inside. He knew when to use his boxing skills from the outside, and credit where credit is due. Two-weight world champion, I think. The first Northern Irishman ever to be a two-weight world champion. Very good. Don't get me wrong. There were still holes in his game, even though it was a splendid performance. And holes that I think some of the other featherweights that are current champions or really high in the rankings, or they might give him trouble or potentially beat him. That's still my view on him. I still think he's a very good fighter. I said that before. I just thought Santa Cruz would be too much with the high volume, the sort of longer levers, that sort of stuff. That just had. I thought Carl Frampton would be simply outsized, outman, and outmatched in there, and I was proved wrong. But the thing is, Santa Cruz, he made Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz still throw over 1,000 punches, but he made him miss a lot of the shots. And I think in the second round, when I wouldn't say he hurt or rocked Santa Cruz heavily, but he certainly got Santa Cruz. He certainly got his attention. And Carl Frampton, obviously, I think Leo Santa Cruz was off balance, and he tried to he didn't really rush. He kind of waited, and the patience he showed was very good, but he got back to his boxing skills, and that was smart to see. The thing about Carl Frampton is one of the holes. I'm not going to discuss all the holes he has in his game. Um, you know, I'll speak about one of the main holes that I really dislike in his game. Santa Cruz was throwing a three punch combo. He wouldn't catch him with two. He would catch him with a third, and that was a theme. So he is there to be hit, Carl Frampton. Uh, but that's not my overriding issue with the Jackal. It is that maybe when Santa Cruz was throwing single shots, or just double shots, two punch combination, he would come back and do the Deontay Wilder sort of thing. He would back up in a straight line with his hands up, and any sort of three punch combination. If he would do that, I mean, it's a disaster against the top featherweights, and someone with a bit more, sort of, I'd say, smarter technique than Leo Santa Cruz. I think they'll really pick up on that. Possibly Lee Selby. They're talking about Lee Selby. I know he was mentioned in the post-fight interview on Showtime. Gary Russell Jr. is another one. Oscar Valdez. I know they didn't mention him, but Oscar Valdez is in and around there. Um, Obviously, he's dodged a massive bullet with Vasyl Lomachenko moving up. But those three guys, I expect them to give Frampton a lot of trouble. I think just that is one of the key sort of deficiencies in Carl Frampton's game. But I'm not taking anything away from him. I noticed on that I noticed that a few times. I spoke to a few people about it, and they did agree with me. So I just think he needs to really work on that. Shane Wigan is doing a fantastic job with Carl Frampton, and I think he's going from strength to strength. But I think they need to work on this. This is an issue that is cropping up quite regularly, and it's not good going down the line. Leo Santa Cruz is young. He can come back. Um, you know, he matches up pretty decently against the other sort of featherweight champions as well. I mean, he might not win against all of them, but he'll definitely give them a run for their money. He's certainly top 10 in the division for me. Um, they're talking about a rematch. He has a rematch clause, so that could be potential next fight for Carl Frampton. As I said, Lee Selby, Oscar Valdez, Gary Russell Jr. They're talking about Lee Selby and they're trying to push that. Josh Warrington's there as well. That could be a potential fight. Um, whatever makes the most money for Carl Frampton, I guess. He's made a good name for himself in the States. Um, the Irish fans were, a real testament, real testament to British boxing. They went over and, every punch thrown by Carl Frampton applauded by the Irish fans and, massive cheers. So big respect and credit to them. As I said, I scored the fight 7-5 to Carl Frampton. I just think cleaner, crisper work. Um, you know, Leo Santa Cruz did come on strong, certainly in the mid to slight of just before the championship rounds, but they were all nip and tuck. All the rounds were quite competitive actually. So I can understand Guido Cavalieri, I think his name is. Sorry if I've mispronounced that. He called it a draw, 114, 114. I can understand that. 116, 112. I can see it. That's a bit of a stretch. 8-4 to Frampton, but slight bit of a stretch. But I can understand if some people scored it that. But 117, 111 is a joke. I can't see that at all. 117, 111, way too wide. Six round swing to Frampton, no chance. But yeah, Frampton onwards and upwards. The moving weight has certainly helped him. He looks less drained. His stamina was really good going into the late rounds. Punch resistance was decent as well. So all's looking well for the Jackal, and I do sincerely hope he gets another good fight. He is, I like him as a fighter. Don't get me wrong, I really do like him as a fighter. But you know, he does have silly little things. I think he can tidy up on them pretty easily. The sort of going back in a straight line with your hands up, the Deontay Wilder sort of thing. It's not as bad, but certainly the top fighters, the Selbys, the Russell Juniors, those sort of guys, even Oscar Valdez, I think they can pick up on it. Santa Cruz, not saying he's not a top fighter, but he fights in a certain style, and I think he didn't pick up on that all the time. So it is one of those things to watch out for. But Carl Frampton, well done to him. Fantastic performance. Thoroughly deserved the win. On the undercard, Paulie Malignaggi got a win against Bracero. You know what? I'd like to see Paulie retire. I think he's on a retirement tour or something like that. But he's got a great job at Showtime, and he's a fantastic analyst. I don't want to see him get punch drunk or anything. I know he doesn't take too many punches, but I don't want to see him like Enzo Macronelli or those sort of guys. I know he doesn't get knocked out or anything, but you just don't want to see that. It's not something you want to see Paulie taking punches. He's a fantastic commentator. He's got a great job in the boxing industry. He should stick to his commentating for me. Also on the undercard was let me just check. I wrote down some notes. Tony Harrison versus Sergey Rabchenko, the Ricky Hatton fighter. Tony Harrison completely, dominated him for 9 rounds, and he got the stoppage in the ninth. And yeah, well done to Tony Harrison, IBF eliminator. I know Julian Williams, J Rock, was in the crowd, as he said in the post-fight interview, and he's next up after J Rock Charlo, so that would be a good fight as well. Tony Harrison, I'd like to see him avenge his loss to Willie Nelson, but if he's getting a world title shot, I can't begrudge him. Very good performance against a very good and game Rabchenko. Mikey Garcia obviously came back against Elio Rojas, and decent performance. I want to say great. Showed he had a lot of ring rust. I think he's declined, not significantly, but I did say on Twitter significantly to Gossip. But when I watched the performance for a second and third time, I think he's still got some really good skills. He was defensively open. I think Rojas was hitting him quite frequently, but I think he had no respect for him. One, and that's a lot of ring rust, I think. But he has regressed slightly, and I hope he gets to where he was before. He's looking to challenge at 135. He said he travelled to the UK to fight Terry Flanagan. I'd love to see that fight. If a peak Mikey Garcia turns up and is there or thereabouts, I think he can give Flanagan real trouble. Not going to pick a win on that, but in this video, but you know, Mikey Garcia is quality on his day. He was a pound for pounder, and I still think he could be pound for pound if he reaches the heights that he did. Prior to his legal dispute with Top Rank. And lastly, I know many of you might not know this name, Ivan Redcatch. He was once an undefeated prospect lightweight. He lost to Tevin Farmer. Tevin Farmer, has a record that's quite deceiving. I think he has 4 losses or something. But he dominated Redcatch, and Redcatch fought Dejan Zlatikanin a couple of fights ago when he was undefeated, and he lost in 4 rounds. Zlatikanin blew him out and looked spectacular in that fight for me. But Redcatch has really fallen off the scene, and it's not the greatest thing to see. I did rate Redcatch as well, so he's lost, but maybe he can come back. We don't know. But Tevin Farmer, good win for him. He's moved up from super feather to lightweight, and it's a solid win for him. But all applaudits will go to Carl Frampton and Leo Santa Cruz are making a great fight. One of the best fights of the year so far, definitely better than Thurman Porter for me. I still think Salido versus Francisco Vargas was probably the best fight of the year, but this in terms of higher quality as well. This was a fantastic fight. Big respect to both guys, big shots, and I think they really appreciated being in the ring with each other on the night. So that's my thoughts on Carl Frampton versus Leo Santa Cruz and the rest of the undercard. Please do let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, please give the thumbs up. Subscribe and shares. It really helps the channel out. It'll help it grow and develop. And yeah, take care, guys, and speak to you soon. Peace.